Hey friends, I'm not going to delay. I'll just jump right in. That way when people watch this back, you're not having to hang out waiting for me to start. I am going to try to upload this to YouTube when I'm all done today, I think. So we'll see. I don't know. You guys know I don't go live very often. Hey guys, hey girls. And so I'm still trying to work out all the kinks, but I have tons of things to do today, like tons and tons. And what better thing to do than to stop and create, even though I have stuff to do? Hey guys. So I really wanted to spend some time in revival camp from Illustrated Faith, and I put together this mini book. There is a video over on my channel kind of showing how I put together and what's in it, but I wanted to kind of add some more things and revamp it so that I could go back and kind of dive deeper into the devotional content. How many of you are obsessed with the devotional content from Revival Camp this year? I am loving it. And so I have done several Bible journaling entries and have read the scriptures and have thought about things and prayed about things and taken notes. Right, Diana? It is amazing. And so I wanted... Hey Jeanette, hey guys. Oh my gosh, there's so many of you already. Okay, so let's side note, heads up, my hubby is on his way home. He went grocery shopping for me so I could get work done. So the dogs are gonna bark, it's gonna be loud. I don't know when he's gonna walk through the door, but that's gonna all happen probably while I'm on live. But so anyways, I had some things I wanted to add it into my mini book to make it work for my study time and just, I don't know, have some more goodies in here. And so instead of making a whole separate video about it, I thought I'd just go live, create, and let you guys kind of look while I'm creating, and we'll just kind of hang out and chit chat. Thanks, ladies. Thank you so much. For those of you who are mentioning the video, okay, so if you guys have not seen my Let's Talk video, first off, I don't know how you haven't seen it because it is blown up. I cannot believe how many people have watched it. And I have spent the last 24 hours answering messages nonstop. So I had to kind of step away this morning and spend some time creating because I have just been trying to answer everybody, but I just haven't gotten there yet. Right, Jeanette? Okay, maybe it was you that I saw that put prayer cards, and this is kind of what made me think of it. So Jeanette's talking about these. These are the prayer request cards from Allie Scraps. Just so you know, and if you guys don't mind reminding people if they pop into the comments, I went ahead and also posted a blog post right now at LindseyDecor.com for my Instagram live with links to the products I've pulled to talk about today. And then when I get done with my live, I will update that with anything new that maybe I stuck in there. But these cards are linked over there. All kinds of things are linked over there, so you can go check that out. But these prayer request cards are from Allie Scraps. She's amazing. I've shared her on my channel before, and she has had these for a really, really long time. I have been a lover of these forever, and so I wanted to kind of add these in here as a place to take prayer notes. And then what I also did, and I try to save time, I try to cut a lot of things ahead of time so we're not just watching me cut things. It's going to be a lot of gluing things, but so I got plenty of those. And then I also pulled out, and I don't remember who it was that I had seen, maybe it was Bridget, had pulled out the field guide notes from Revival Camp 2016. This is not free. It is $10 to pay for Revival Camp 2016. That is linked over on my blog as well if you want to check that out. But as a part of the Revival Camp from then, you got this file for these field notes, and it comes as one page. I already cut everything down for my book, but it was made to make your own kind of traveler's notebook insert or mini book, and I totally forgot about these. So I pulled these back out, and it's got a place to write the Bible verse that you're studying. Oh, well, I'm sorry that your client canceled, but I'm glad that they canceled so you could come hang out. We'll just have a fun hangout crafty party. You guys can craft alongside. I'm not showing any revolutionary techniques today. It's just going to be watching me glue things together and how I put together my book. So anyways, so you've got Bible verse, you've got some notes that you can take about the devotional content or the Bible verses or whatever it might be. Hey, Cassie. Hey, Lev. And then some additional verses, maybe something that you discovered that you didn't know before about that verse, or I don't know, just something that stands out to you. And then this side, of course, has the date, some key words maybe that you pulled out from that verse. You have a place to adhere the badge. This was kind of meant to go along, of course, with that camp from 2016. So there were products that kind of went with it and the badges and things. But the printables that you get from Dayspring, I think will fit just fine there. Thanks, you guys. I'm going to try to catch comments and interject and do all the live things. Like I said, I don't live very often, so I'm not a pro like some of you ladies. So it's going to be a hot mess, but we'll do it. Some questions, maybe some questions that you had as you were going through. Sorry, there's my hubby pulling in. Questions as you were going through the devotional content. I think this is great, especially for those of you who are asking how I study and do my commentary study and all that kind of thing. So maybe as I'm working through the devotional, there's something I have a question about, whether it's a definition of a word or the theology behind that verse, or I don't know, something. And so I can kind of jot down my notes here and then go to my computer or go to my Bible, my study Bible, and kind of answer some of those questions, or go to my pastor if I have a question, and that kind of thing. So you've got this space here. You've got a prayer space. I'm going to add actually the prayer cards. That will be a little more prayer space. And then a takeaway. So maybe you just want to write out, I don't know, like the title that you're going to put the title in your Bible journaling or something like that. I don't know. I just thought, duh, why did I not think of these, and why did I not incorporate this? Because it puts so much more use into this mini book other than just being pretty. So I'm not going to do a whole lot of just like pretty stuff on here today. It's going to be kind of assembling it and showing you how I assemble it so it functions for me. And mini books for me can be a little overwhelming. So let me kind of start working with my hands, and I'll kind of tell you why they're overwhelming and that kind of thing, because it's really just going to be a lot of repetitive gluing and stuff like that. Prayer cards came from Allie Scraps. She has some digital printables. Everything is linked over on my blog. I just posted a blog post titled Instagram Live, and there are links to everything that I talk about, so you can hop on over there and check that out. But they're from Allie Scraps. And so mini books for me can be a little overwhelming because I see everybody with their super beautiful, pretty mini books and all, but they take a lot of time, a lot of effort. They can be kind of expensive because I'm kind of crazy and I feel like I need to go buy all kinds of things to make them look pretty. And so I'm always hesitant to do a mini book because it's just a lot of work. But for this one, I'm trying to just make it functional. So the front, of course, is cute, and I did a video on this. It's over on my channel. But the inside, I'm not doing a whole lot. I'm just adding things to make it functional. I'm also trying to get used to being in, sorry guys, portrait and not landscape like YouTube. So I don't have as much room on the camera to show you guys stuff. Okay, so I have several of these printed out, and the way I want to kind of do this, I think, so this is page 1, right? All the things syndrome is a very real syndrome, and it is awful and expensive. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually adhere this to this card. So it's the back of this card, and then I'll repunch my holes. So that's going to be a lot of what I'm doing here, is just repunching things. So while I'm gluing things, does anybody have any questions while I'm going to try to look at this through my phone so I can see comments and glue at the same time. We'll see what happens. I am so excited so many of you guys hopped on here. So I spent an hour trying to figure out how to set up a YouTube live, and I just could not figure it out. So if somebody has tips on how to do a YouTube live, how to, first of all, like schedule a YouTube live, and then how to actually do it, please email me and let me know, because that's what I really would want to do. Thank you guys. Thanks for all the kindness. You guys, oh my gosh, this community has just blown me out of the water the last 2 days. It's crazy. Crazy, crazy. So I just added some dry adhesive to the back of that, and then I'm going to cut off the extra here. I know this, I mean, I always knew that this community is amazing, but when I posted that video, I was not expecting, and I think Janet would say the same thing, like we were not expecting like a pity party or, you know, come shower us in love because we're feeling down on ourselves. Like I have my Bible, which is full of love from God. I don't need all of that. Like, I don't need all the extra. But oh my gosh, you guys, like, I was on the bike at the gym yesterday for an hour, and I was like responding to questions and comments and reading things, and I was literally in the gym like crying. It was ridiculous. I know, I do prefer YouTube. I do. And so that's why I want to kind of figure out how to do a YouTube live. Okay, so I just went ahead, I used my hole punch. Like I said, everything's linked over on my blog to repunch, and I actually used the small instead of the large. So yeah, anyways, so I was at the gym looking like a crazy person, just bawling my eyes out, because you guys sharing your stories and your testimonies were just, it was amazing. It was amazing. I was blown away. And I don't know, just the whole experience was crazy. Okay, so that is, it looks like a multitasker. I am the queen of multitasking. I have twins, if you didn't know that, and so my life has just been multitasking forever now. Okay, and so then this is going to be this page. So I think what it's going to be is like a devotional, read the devotional, place to take my notes, and then a prayer card on the back of here, I think. Hi, Kim. Hi. Oh, and that's what else I was going to say. So in the video that went up, hey, Tanya. Okay, Tanya, you have done YouTube Live. I need to chit chat with you later on today about YouTube Live because I failed and could not get it to work today. So we gotta sit down and have a chat, girlfriend. The video I posted this morning, I talked about encouraging you guys to be in the comments and leaving comments and talking with each other. And there's always really fun. Okay, I will for sure call you, Tanya. Always fun comments down in my YouTube videos, but I wanted to encourage you guys, it's okay to like talk to each other. It's okay to answer questions for me. It's okay. Like this morning's video was so fun to wake up to because just you guys actually took that to heart and were like, I don't know, having conversations. Just tell me what you're doing while you're watching my video or what you plan to do with what you learned from the video. I don't know. Let's just have fun in those comments and building community in those comments, because I'm going to be honest that this whole like social media thing is lonely as all get out. And it seems crazy when you have like, what, there's 36 of you right here right now. So that's awesome because we're live. But, you know, when I see, 1,000 people watching a video, I'm not getting to interact with those 1,000 people. I just post it and go about my day, and my day is a very quiet, especially when the kids are back in school. It's just very quiet, and there's not a lot going on, and it is lonely. And I was talking about that with somebody last night. It's a very weird thing that we have here with the online community. Aren't they cute? And she has, okay, so Allie Scraps has these prayer request cards in all different color schemes. She's got different ones that match. Like, she usually comes out with some that match the Illustrative Faith kits, and then she has some that matches her kits and all kinds of things. So, okay, so that opens, and then I've got my prayer request card. And I have a video. I'll try to remember to link it over on the blog. I was thinking about maybe adding some washi, just because why not? Showing how I make a prayer request card pocket in the front of my Bible, and that's where I initially had found these. So it was like a little pocket that you could put these in. I know, I always said Lynette too, because I have a girl at my church, and it's Lynette. So I totally butchered that, Janet. I'm sorry. Okay. Look at this. I'm like picking up trail mix, stars, all kinds of things. All right. And I think the washi tape will just kind of reinforce the holes, because this was just printed on regular copy paper, which actually I'm realizing now I did not link over on my blog because I bought special paper. I got a hold of Andrea, she's Retro Hip Mama, and asked for a paper suggestion, and she gave me an amazing paper suggestion. It's not cardstock, but it's great for traveler's notebook inserts. Right? Good job, Tanya. I should have looked into that before I did my unboxings because I butchered names so bad. But can I just say how much I'm loving seeing you girls in the devotional content? It's awesome. Super, super awesome. Okay. So then it's going to go, I'll probably have to put a prayer card in the front here. And then here's for my notes, prayer card, and then another devotional. So you can see I'm not doing anything super crazy here. Right? We all need like a, hey, hello, this is who I am video and how to pronounce our names and where we're from and a little about me video. Yes, Tanya, I had to send in my stuff to Dayspring this morning, like all the links to my stuff that I had done. And I mentioned to the gal that's my contact over there how much I appreciated the devotional content. And I hope to keep seeing it this way because I am loving it. And I probably should have done this with a glue stick so I don't use up all of my nice tape, but that's okay. All right. Okay, so Tamara or Tamara? Tamara, right? I think that's how you would say it. Can I just say that's one thing that we thought of when we named our kids was things that would be easy to pronounce for their sake. Apparently I cut things way weird this morning. All right, what's a great idea, Kim? I've talked about so much already. Just trying to like get it all out there for you guys so it's not super boring while I'm gluing stuff together. Okay, and how many of you are super, super excited for the new Bible from Illustrated Faith? I know I've been getting all kinds of questions already about it. Don't worry, video's coming very soon. That's actually one of my gotta do's is I gotta wrap up some stuff for my review. I'm not seeing new comments. Are you guys still there? You just being quiet? There's hearts. So I'll probably, here in a few minutes, I'll show you a little sneak of what I was working on last night in the new Bible. I think you guys are going to be so in love, because I know I am, and I hope you are, because you're going to be seeing lots of it on my channel and here. I'm going to try to like do this while watching you guys and not mess up. I'm so afraid I'm going to hole punch on the wrong side or something here. But the nice thing is these kind of give you a place to respond to the prompt questions at the bottom too. And I'll have to like square everything up probably. So what are you guys currently doing while I'm crafting? Are you guys Bible journaling also? And if so, what are you Bible journaling? Thank you for all the hearts, guys. And like I said, I'm going to try to figure out how to save this and post it. See, I ran out of tape. Post it over on my YouTube if I can. Look, I was prepared. I had more tape. All right, so apparently my comments were frozen. Sorry, guys. So watercolor swatches. Oh, you're working on watercolor swatches. Awesome. Ugh, sorry, guys. I missed tons. I thought your comments weren't coming in, and then I realized they were frozen. So now I missed a whole bunch of them. What tape is this? This is the, I'll link this over, it's on my blog. It's the Tombow dot adhesive, mono dot adhesive, and I buy the refills, and so I'll show you. Actually, this will be perfect because I can show you how you switch it out. Yes, these are the Tombow tape runners, and they are hands down my favorite. I have tried everything. I was using ones from like the Dollar Tree or the dollar store for a long time, but they just colored the back of my paper really bad, so I've switched over to this. Knitting a prayer shawl. Okay, so there's like a little button down here that pops it apart, and then the heavy part gets thrown away. Knitting is the one thing that I can't do, and I don't know that I have any desire to ever learn. I just have never, I can craft lots of things, but that is not one of my crafty skills. Just finished reading Ezekiel 12. Good for you. I have not gotten Bible reading time in today. Lesson 4. Packing is yucky. Sorry, I'm going back through your guys' comments and I'm going to try to answer some questions. Working on revival camp. Planner spread. I'm going to be honest, I have failed on my planner this week. I know, it was a little bit funny to switch these out at first, but they're not too bad. And I just, every time I go to Hobby Lobby, I just grab some extra refills. Right? Okay, and so the one thing I love about the dot adhesive is that, like, let's say I get it on something like my surface, because I work on like poster board surface, so I can switch it out, or even my Bible page. You can just rub it with your finger or one of those adhesive erasers, and it just all balls up and it's gone. So the other adhesives don't do that unless they're a dot adhesive. The regular just full adhesive doesn't work like that. Can I get faith in crafty autocorrect, right? I think that every time I write a blog post and it tells me I'm misspelling journaling, and I'm like, no. Get with the program WordPress. Journaling is a word. Okay, so there is that. And let's add some washi to this one too. All right, I'm going to use the grid washi. I've got lots of questions about this, and I just found out that this is still over at Felicity Jane. So I have it linked over on my blog. I have some really exciting news coming soon about Felicity Jane. So you're going to be seeing a lot more Felicity Jane on my channel. So for all of you kit haters, I'm sorry. I love their stuff. I think it's super pretty, and it's just easy to work with. Thank you. Yeah, I was really surprised. So there's going to be more Felicity Jane coming. It's just so girly. Like, I'm all about the girliness. It's just adorable. Aw, bummer. I'm excited because I don't know a lot of ladies over at Felicity Jane, a lot of the people that create for them. So it's been kind of fun to see. So if you guys, I mean, obviously a lot of you, bye Cassie, have fun. A lot of you watch my videos on YouTube. If you're not watching other crafty type stuff on YouTube, if you're only watching Bible journaling, I mean, that's awesome. But I would encourage you to kind of watch some other like card making and scrapbooking, and not because you do it, but there's just a lot of tips and tricks that you can learn in those other videos. That's where I learn a lot of my stuff. And Tanya will say the same thing. We call it the School of YouTube. Sorry guys, I bumped you. School of YouTube, because I don't know, there's just so much you can learn from other crafters. Even if what they're crafting is different than us, there's just lots of tips and tricks. All right, I'm really trying not to mess this up. Yeah, YouTube can be a serious addiction. I will admit to that. Like, the amount of time that I spend watching YouTube videos is ridiculous. But I like that you can kind of pick and choose what you want to see. Like, I don't know, I like that. Rather than just kind of sitting in front of the TV and flicking through the TV. All right, so how did the makeup brush thing work out? If you guys haven't seen that, what she's talking about is I bought a whole bunch of these, I have them right here, makeup brushes from the Dollar Tree, and they're the Wet n Wild brushes, so they're only $1. I was looking for something that was a little more flat-topped, like a kabuki or something like that, but this one actually worked out just fine. And so I use this to apply distress inks and distress oxide inks. I've been doing that a lot lately. So yeah, that's been really, really awesome and way more cost effective than buying the brushes that are intended for that. Oh, that's a good idea. Tape the brush with green, tapped it with green Distress Oxide and made it cute grass. What a good idea. Yeah, I wish I had discovered using the makeup brush so forever ago, because there's just something about Bible paper that Distress ink just does not blend as well on as like smooth cardstock, and so... Okay, do they still bleed? Yes and no. If you add water to it, it will bleed. If you were to build up the color really, really, really heavily concentrated with some of the darker colors, you might get some bleed through. But as far as the way I've been using it, I've just been, let me see, I have my Bible right here. Sidetracked, sorry, squirrel. Okay, right here. So I've been using it to dust color in the background, and so you get this really soft layer of color. This process video is over on my YouTube if you haven't seen it yet. So you can see there isn't bleed through. You can kind of see, like, this is just where the page folded over. This is actual bleed through from the stamping, but you can see it doesn't bleed through. But if I went in like really heavy with a really dark color, it might bleed through. I don't know that I have. So like, where'd it go? This is bleed through. This is like ink smushing with wet Distress Oxide inks gives you bleed through. But that soft blending with the makeup brush is a pretty safe way to use them. But if you ever were to get liquid on that page, maybe not necessarily with a color like Tattered Rose or Antique Linen or Squeeze Lemonade, some of those lighter colors aren't going to bleed through. But if you had something like this dusted on there and then your page got wet, yes, it is probably going to bleed through. So that's just, it is what it is. Okay, so then we've got this one and this one. Or on the back. Yes, true, Tanya. So what she's saying is if you were to blend that distress ink like that with the makeup brush on the page, and then you went and did a verse on the back of the page and did it with watercolors, and that water, you know, you're getting that page wet from the back side, it would reactivate that ink and cause it to bleed. All right, Dana, I'm going to try not to mess it up. I'm going to try to make sure I get it saved, and it'll either be saved here or over on my YouTube. I'm going to cross that bridge when I get to it, because I'm not a tech expert, so I'm going to figure it out. But have fun. I hope your workday goes super fast. Okay, so you can see I'm just kind of doing the same thing, and then I'm going to go in and put these badges on here, I think. I wanted to pop these up with foam tape, but I think it'll be too bulky because they're all going to be in the same spot. Oh, have fun, Tanya. Yes, I'm going to run into craziness with the boys being home, but I will call you and we'll chit-chat. Yes, you can use gesso if you're going to be using things that bleed through. Gesso definitely has its time and place for me. I don't love how Distress inks play over gesso because they don't really ever fully 100% dry. And so a great example of that is that video where I totally destroyed the background and it was a hot mess, and I had with the red Distress Oxide ink. The reason I was able to save that page was because Distress Oxide doesn't bleed or doesn't dry all the way on gesso. So I know I saw that Illustrated Faith was live, and then I tried to catch it right after she got off live. That way we weren't live at the same time, because I didn't want you guys to be conflicted, because I'd way rather you guys be over there watching what she's got going on. So if she's live, I'm sorry. You guys can for sure leave me to go watch Illustrated Faith. And I'll try to post this up somewhere later that you can come back and watch it. So I'm just going to go through, I'm trying to change it up for you guys. I'm going to put these down. That way I know when I flip over here that this is the fellowship notes for this card. Does that make sense? Put tape. Yeah, tape. And then I forgot, I was going to mention these. Okay, I totally forgot that these existed. These are from the Wild Calling printable. These were from Revival Camp last year, but they are still available. They're linked over on my blog. But how adorable are these? I was scrolling through my computer trying to find stuff to print out for today, and I totally forgot that Elaine had done these last year. So I thought about either using these in my entry or using these to, you know, dress something up maybe. I don't know. These are super cute. Elaine, if you ever watch this, we need more things like this because this is super cute. So yeah, I have those. And then I'm going to hole, or I'm not going to hole punch. I'm going to tab punch some tabs and put it in here too to kind of make it a little more functional. All right, any other questions while I'm just gluing things? I know that Wild Calling set is adorable. Yeah, if you're going back, so if you did not order the current Revival Camp kits from Dayspring, I know Kit 1 is now sold out and is no longer available. Kit 2 is going very quickly. When I checked this morning, it is still available, but they are anticipating it will sell out as well. If you miss those, don't worry. Like, you can get the devotional content over on illustratedfaith.com. I have that linked over on my blog as well, the landing page to get the devotional content and print it out and make your own kit. I mean, yes, it is nice having, you know, the stamps and all those goodies and things, but you can see I'm just using printables. I'm not using anything from the actual kit from Dayspring right now. So, like, you can definitely work through this without having that. Are you just making this book a personal study and journaling kit and Bible? Yes, so this is going to be kind of where I hash out my thoughts and prayers and takeaways and things as I work through this devotional content. I don't normally do this because I'm going to be honest, the devotional content the last few months I just have not had a whole lot of in-depth study with. I mean, you could with those verses, but I didn't feel led to. But this one, the content is just so deep that I keep going back to it and rereading it and, you know, finding new things. And so I wanted a place where I could kind of take my notes and keep all those thoughts organized. Yes, I love that she's offering the Devo content free. I think that is so awesome. That way everybody can jump in and be included whether you ordered the kit or not. I think that's awesome. All right. And so yeah, I probably, once this is done and completed, there won't be like videos as I worked through this portion of it. Oh, I know what else I was going to talk about on here. So I had mentioned about a month ago, I totally forgot. That's one of the reasons I went on live. Okay, so I mentioned a month ago that I was thinking about opening up a Patreon account. If you're not familiar with Patreon, Patreon's like a crowdfunding type thing. And so you can donate money to people for like extra bonus content or physical product or whatever it might be. And so I had thought about doing a Patreon and having like some extra video content and maybe some free printables depending on what your donation tier was and some things like that. So I've been spending the last month trying to figure out the best way to do that because I hate to ask for money. That bugs me. So I definitely want to give you guys like plenty in return if you are making a donation like that. And so yesterday, as I was at the gym, we were wrapping things up and I had this like epiphany. I was like, oh, so you know that I was prepping that Bible study for my church and it didn't work out. Nobody signed up. So I've done all the legwork and the study work and I've gone through the Bible study and I had talked about doing an online Bible study but wasn't quite sure how to make it work. So here's my idea. Let me know what you think. I'm thinking about turning that Bible study into an online study that would be offered over on my Patreon. And so the videos would be like me face-to-face with you in front of the camera discussing the study contents, so what we maybe picked up from the week, and then a process video, me journaling for that week, if that makes sense. And that would just be over on Patreon. For this first one, I am going to do the study that I've already kind of put together, but in the future will probably be, so there is like a book that goes along with it and some video content that goes along with it, but in the future, if it all works out, I would do something that's a little like easier, like maybe a $5 book study type thing, and then that way you guys can go through the Bible study on your own, and then we'll pop in together. You can watch my video about that week's study, and then I've already created a Facebook group. It's not live yet, but there will be a Facebook group just for Patreons that then we can go over there and kind of discuss the content from the devotional study, if that makes sense, because I think there's just something so important in Bible studies that comes from the discussion part of it, and it's really hard in an online world to get that, and so a Facebook group isn't Ideally, we would all be sitting together in my living room talking about it, but that just can't happen. But then that would give us a place that we can kind of talk about the devotional study, go through it together, get me some more like in front of you guys type videos, because I've had a lot of requests for that, and then also have some bonus Bible journaling content. And then by having it over on Patreon, kind of honestly weeds out the crazies. So the super negative, not nice people, like I really don't think that they're going to want to pay, because I think it'll be like $5 for that, $5 a month. They're not going to want to pay that. They're trolls and they just want to come and just be mean to me for free. So hopefully it'll kind of weed out some of that. Yes, for overseas, perfect. Okay, so I was kind of thinking that'll work. Now, it's going to take some time for me to get that all organized. I want to film some of the videos ahead of time. That way it's all ready to go. And I think it would end up being, this study would be one video a week just because of the nature of the study kind of thing. And then hopefully in the future, the way it would work would be like higher donation tiers. Sorry, I keep going out of camera so I can see it. Would get, like, let's say you're doing $10 a month or $15 a month, then you get a free printable designed by me that goes along with the content for that month. And then, like, there's different tiers that you can sign up for, is how Patreon works. Yeah, my husband and I, we are seriously addicted to watching travel vloggers on YouTube. We love watching sailing, traveling vloggers, and a lot of them do Patreon because the way people can kind of donate to what they're doing and help fund, you know, what they're doing on YouTube. And so I love that idea. And so we're kind of trying to talk about how to make that work for what I do. And so that way it kind of helps support, you know, the time and energy I'm putting into those studies. But then also you guys get something out of it. Because that's what's important, is you guys get something out of it. Yes, you can donate during YouTube live videos. And so like I said, I'm going to meet with Tanya. I'm going to talk to her on the phone and figure out, because I know she's done some YouTube lives, and I'm going to investigate into that a little bit more. Aw, thanks. Well, a lot of the stuff that I learn is seriously off of other YouTubers, and I just kind of adapt it to work for Bible journaling, but also just kind of playing around and experimenting. And it helps that I don't have little kids at home. Like, my kids are at school right now, so I can play and do silly things and not worry about getting them from school right this second. Okay, can I just admit that I am seriously flying by my pants and hoping that I don't put something upside down or backwards, or trying to, like, keep my train of thought. Yeah, my boys keep telling me to do Twitch because they are total video gamers and watch people on Twitch all the time. It'll be interesting to see what happens with YouTube. For those of you who are active on YouTube, you may have seen YouTube has made a lot of changes with their platform, and I don't know. And no, it is not about the money. It will never be about the money, but I do have to make a living at this, or I have to go get another job. And so YouTube has really changed how they, I don't know, how they showcase videos and how you get paid for them. And just, there's been a lot of changes over on that platform. And so I know people are looking at other platforms to see. And there's this interesting thing. And so this will be a fun little discussion topic. So YouTube is a very liberal platform. And so they have a tendency, they would always say no, they don't, if you ever ask them, but they have a tendency to kind of, not shun, but they just don't spotlight channels that are doing things that go against their beliefs. And so obviously a channel all about God and Jesus and Bibles really is probably not on their radar and something that they want to promote. And so things have gotten better over the last couple months, but when I first started, there's something called monetization. So when they play ads in front of my videos, I get like a couple cents for every time they play an ad on my video. And so they were demonetizing my videos for like no real reason. And the only thing I could think of is just that I had like biblical content in my description. It was so ridiculous. So there's just been that kind of stuff going on. So Patreon would kind of help with that too, because it would be all on me. I'm not depending upon, you know, YouTube to do their job. Yeah, social media is ridiculous. It is a whole nother monster. I'm so thankful for it because social media really is my job currently. And so there is just something very unique about that. And the way we can kind of, like, look right now, I'm talking with people all over the world from my house. Like, it's crazy to me. But there is definitely a downside to social media for sure. Yeah, yep, exactly. Jesus is exactly what the world needs, and YouTube fights that tooth and nail. Like, my family watches, It's a show called on YouTube. It's Off the Ranch and Demolition Ranch. And it's this Christian family. They don't really do, it's not a Christian-based YouTube channel, but they are Christians. And my husband's really into guns and things like that. And so he shows different like guns, reviews and things. And he fights YouTube all the time because they are very anti-gun and they're Christian on top of it. So it's just interesting to see what gets promoted on YouTube and what doesn't. Paper is my story. That would be awesome. I think that would be great. I will say, though, the one plus to... Oh my gosh, how awesome. Jesse loves Jesus. Okay, so my boys, that's what they wanted for their birthday was Demo Ranch merchandise for their birthday. They are obsessed. We seriously watch an episode almost every day that they have a new one out. So for those of you who are looking just for like good, clean, American fun with no bad words that your kids can watch, he is like out on his ranch shooting targets and blowing up things and driving big trucks, and it is about as American as you can get. They are super, super fun. Okay, so what I was saying about YouTube. Yes, having a separate website for Bible journalers would be awesome. On the other hand, though, I will say with YouTube being as liberal as it is, I think it is kind of a good platform for evangelism in that people who aren't Christians may stumble upon those of us over on YouTube and then get some exposure. You know, it's not as scary as walking into a church. Our channels don't substitute for church, but it's a good kind of like getting your toe wet kind of way to be exposed to Christianity. And that is one kind of neat thing about being on a platform like YouTube. Smarter Every Day. I have not watched that. We have a whole list. Maybe that would be a fun blog post and like have a conversation about the people that we watch on YouTube. I always think it's funny to see the kinds of different things that people watch on YouTube because we have not paid for cable television or whatever TV. We do not plug into our wall and get TV since I was pregnant with the boys. So over 11 years we haven't had TV. And so we watch a lot of things on YouTube that way. Smarter Every Day. All right, I gotta write that down. This is the other plus to using a paper backdrop. Yeah, we have a lot of fun. So it'd be fun to kind of see what everybody watches on YouTube. What are some things you guys watch on YouTube? Actually, just leave it in the comments here, and we can go back and look at those comments. We watch animal sounds. Love it. Yeah, we're all about nature sounds on Spotify. My kids listen to nature sounds on Spotify. Sorry, I'm going to make sure my stuff isn't stuck. There we go. We watch, let's see, Sailing the Vagabond. They're this couple that sail all over the place on this giant, pretty boat. And we watch Demo Ranch. Oh, yeah, yes, I was 21 when I went through all that with my kids. You're right, it was crazy. I will say that I had to grow up very, very quickly. Ow, I totally just smashed my finger in my punch. Don't do what I just did. Yep, I was 21 when I went through all that. But I'm glad, you know what, because if I hadn't gone through what I went through with my boys, I would have been probably doing what all the other crazy 21-year-olds would have been doing and not getting my life together. And at the time, like, I did not have a lot of help from my family at all. And so it's not like I could just leave the boys at home and go do whatever I wanted. I had to stay at home and take care of them. And so, like, at the time, I lamented that because I didn't have help. But now my husband and I always say how thankful we are because we just had to buck up and figure it out. Like, going to the grocery store with 2 newborn babies was nothing for us because that's what we did. We didn't have a choice, and we didn't know better. So kind of worked out. Was a surprise. Okay, so let me tell you, let's tell the story of my life. So yeah, my husband and I got married, and they are honeymoon babies, so we got pregnant right away. And he could not go with me to the first ultrasound, or the first appointment I went to. And it's where they went to go hear, where we went to go hear the heartbeat. And so my mom went with me, and she's a nurse. She's now a physician's assistant, but at the time she's a nurse, so she went with me. And I was seeing a midwife, and she was having a really hard time finding the heartbeat. It was taking her forever. And finally, the last minute, she finds it, and she's like, okay, everything's good. And just like a typical normal appointment. And so when I walked out into the parking lot, I called my husband and was like, hey, oh my gosh, you're not going to believe this. They heard 2 heartbeats. We're having twins, like full on pulling his leg, because they'd only heard 1 heartbeat. And I had him go, and he was at work at the time, and he was like, oh my gosh, no. I'm like, no, I'm just kidding. There's just 1. Everything's great, whatever. And so then, like, I don't know, what is it? A month and a half later, I went in and had my ultrasound, and I worked at the hospital where I was having my ultrasound done. And my husband was there, my mom was there. My mom was sitting down at the end of the bed, and my husband was standing up. And I knew the ultrasound tech because I worked with them. And so as soon as she put the thing down on me and the image popped up, she's like, oh, I love these kind. And I was like, oh, well, like, everything's easy to see, like, because at the time I was super, super thin. And so I'm like, oh, great, that's, like, perfect. Everything's easy for you to see, and everything's where it needs to be. And she's like, yeah, everything's exactly where it needs to be. Both of them are exactly where they need to be. And I was like, I, at the time, was not a Christian. This is before I became a Christian. So I did not say very nice words to her at all and told her to shut up, quit pulling my leg. And she's like, no, really, right here, you can see both of them right here. And my husband just looked at my mom, and he's like, please stand up. I need to sit down. And my mom went running out into the hallway, hollering to everybody, that we were having twins. And it was crazy. So we joke all the time. Like, we joke about not joking. Like, don't joke about it because it'll happen. Because here I joked about it at my first appointment, and then it happened. And we also found out later on, we had been in a pretty bad car accident right after we got married. So we got married January 1st, and on January 12th, I got in a really bad car accident. We hit black ice and hit a tree, and we were all okay. We had some injuries, but it wasn't super bad. It totaled the car. But later on, we found out I actually would have been pregnant at that time, and we didn't know it. So we joke that the car accident shook everything up, and that's why I ended up with 2. So I'm just thankful I did it again, guys. Smashed my finger. Thankful that I didn't lose them, because I didn't even know I was pregnant at the time. So we are super blessed. That's why I say there's just so many miracle moments with those 2 that I just can't even go into all of it because it's crazy. All right, I've got tons of mess over here. I'm going to kind of start with this. I'm not quite done, but I wanted to do the tabs, and then I'll clean everything up. That way you guys aren't super bored. Yeah, see, that's kind of nice about live streams, is I get to tell you fun stories and hang out and chit-chat. All right, so what I'll do when we get done is I'll kind of stack these and clean up the edge. That way everything is aligned the same, and that way it looks kind of nice. But now you can kind of see how that works. I've got a prayer spot, devotional, place to take notes, prayer spot. So that's how the booklet will work. And then now I'm going to add some tabs to the outside. So I pulled out, these are the printables that you get from Dayspring. When you purchase the kit from them, they send you an email with these printables. And so last month's that sold out, and this month's had the same like pattern paper at the bottom here. This is the sheet that had the badges at the top. And then they have this. So I'm going to use this to punch some tabs. And then I'm going to use the stamp set to stamp the different themes. Sorry, I didn't mean to shake you. Just want to make sure you guys are still there. Can I say how ready for fall I am? I am tired of being hot. I am tired of being hot and sweaty. I'm tired of having to turn off the fans to record videos. I'm over it, guys. They portray California as this super amazing, awesome place in movies and things, but it is hot and ridiculous. And you can like fold these over, make folded tabs, but I don't like to do that. I like just having one side. I know it leaves the back blank, but that's okay. Okay, so now I've got all these fun little tabs, and I'm going to stamp these before I tape them. And want to camp where you camp? Oh, we are super lucky. We live in Central California, which is really hot and ugly and gross. And so I didn't think there was a whole lot of camping over here, but then I found some spots this summer and it is awesome. So I'm so excited. Yeah, somebody was saying, because my husband works for the water district, they were saying it's going to be a wet winter for us, hopefully. Yeah, we're hot until after Halloween, because Halloween, I can remember, is always, you're not quite sure what to put the kids in because it's hot during the day and cold at night. So we don't really start cooling down until then. I will say that nighttime has kind of cooled down a little bit for us, so that's a little better, but Sequoia is so pretty. We are actually, I'm just going to stamp this off for now because I forgot to bring my cleaner over here. We're going back to Lodgepole at the end of this month. So we've got some friends of ours from church, and we're going to go camping with their family in Lodgepole, which I'm a little nervous about because it'll be the end of September, and it's about 7,000 feet, so it may be kind of cold, but we'll see. Okay, so there's Explore. Okay, what part of Tennessee are you in? Because my husband and I, our dream would be to move to Chattanooga. We look at houses over there all the time. We look at jobs over there all the time. He keeps telling me, get YouTube famous and we'll move to Tennessee. Maria, I'm going to try to save this process video. I think at the end I have an option to save it and I can post it over on my YouTube channel. I'm going to try to. West Tennessee. Okay, and then my sister-in-law lives in, oh my gosh, she lives in Tennessee. She lives outside of, I want to say she lives about an hour from Memphis, I think. Or actually, maybe it's Jackson. Callie Kitty, how far are you from Memphis? Because I actually think my sister-in-law lives in Jackson. We've never been out there to visit her there, so I've never been out there. Do I ever get concerned about living in California? Yes and no. My husband gets way more worked up about it than I do. I'm not a really big political person. That's just not my thing. And so as much as I dislike the politics in California, it just doesn't, it's not things that really concern me. I mean, I don't know. Would I have guns in my home if I didn't have kids? Probably, but I have kids, so I don't. So, like, gun control type things, like, I don't know, all that. And I don't want to get into a full political conversation on here, but my husband's way more involved with that kind of stuff, and it bothers him. But I do me, and so far, California isn't infringing on that, so it just, I probably should be more concerned about it than I am, but I mean, there are some things. I mean, when you deal with the schools being super liberal and that kind of thing, it's hard. But near Disneyland, that would be dangerous for me. But where we live in a very small community of about 2,000 people. And so our school goes from kindergarten to 8th grade. It's a public school, but it pretty much runs like a private school because it's so small. So, and most of the teachers there, like they all go to church, they're all Christians. So we're very blessed in the school that we have access to where we're at. But if we went 30 minutes into town where we do all of our shopping and the kids had to go to school there, then I probably would be a little more concerned about my kids going to school in California. It's just way more liberal-minded, and when I say liberal-minded, I mean like secular. I mean, they just, anything is okay, everything's okay, and I don't want my kids all up in that. Sorry guys, I hope you come find me. It's been an hour because Instagram only lets you go an hour, so I went over my time limit. So I hope you guys come back in and follow. Sorry guys, hello. Come find me, come find me. And I was able to save that last video, so I'll get it uploaded onto YouTube. Hey guys, sorry. Okay, so I used up my time on Instagram. I only get an hour to live stream, and so you guys have been troopers and have hung out with me for way too long now. So we'll just jump back in. Yes, we were talking about the schools and liberalism. It can be tough. Where I live at in Central California isn't too horribly bad. My sister lives closer to San Francisco, and it is definitely crazy over there when I go visit her. But I don't know. I just keep my head down and just do what I'm doing and don't worry about it. There's so many other things to worry about, and I can't control it. As long as I live here, it is what it is, so. But no, my husband and I have talked about moving out of state a number of times. That is for sure something we want to do. Right? Because we were talking about politics and liberals, probably. Instagram's ears were burning and they kicked me off. No, my sister works, she lives in Livermore, which is a couple hours from San Francisco, and she works over there. And so she works in a very, very nice area over there. And so a lot of she's a pediatric dental assistant. And so a lot of the parents of her patients work in San Francisco. And so she actually has somebody who works for Instagram and all of that, and they offered to give us a behind-the-scenes tour, so that'll be kind of fun. My dividers, sorry, they're kind of mushy. It's the titles from the stamp set for the devotionals. So like this one will be fellowship. I guess I should explain what I'm doing, huh? So explore, prayer, and I'll cut these down so everything will be aligned nice and straight. Yep, I've been in California my whole entire life. I was born in Germany. I'm an Army brat, so I was born in Nuremberg, Germany. And then when I was a few months old, we came back stateside, and I've grown up and lived in California my whole life. California is very large, and there's a lot of, it's different. Every part of California is different. So most of my life, half of my life, I lived kind of down where I'm at right now, and then I moved up to the very, very tip-top northern part of California on the coast, and that's where I met my husband, and then we moved back down to Central California. So I haven't. Earthquakes don't bother me. Where I lived when I was young, we had earthquakes pretty often. We lived about an hour or so from Edwards Air Force Base, and there were a lot more earthquakes and things, but I don't know, you're just used to it. Yeah, I wouldn't go to California for college. I would stay right there in Texas and be thankful you're in Texas, because then she starts did I start a Facebook like? Yeah, and just the cost of living. To go to school out here would be crazy. The cost of living's awful. Yeah, I would way rather have an earthquake than a tornado. You're correct. We've never really had major damage from earthquakes. There have been earthquakes here that have major damage, but we've never had an issue with that. Now he wants to go to Colorado. Well, Colorado is pretty. I'll give him that. Colorado would be better than California. And don't get me wrong, you know, you've seen some of my camping photos. We have some very beautiful places. I can drive a few hours and be at the coast. I can drive a couple hours and be in the mountains. I can go to Disneyland. I can go, you know, do all kinds of things, but California is nuts. Yep, earthquake drills. Get underneath your desk, hands over your neck. Yep, that was definitely my childhood. CSUN and fees are crazy. Where is CSUN? Yeah, every time we look at other states and housing in other states, it just blows us away because it's so expensive here. Oh, well, yeah, that is true. Northridge. Okay, yep, so that is a pricey place to be out there. See, this is the nice thing about the dot adhesive is if I get it too high up on the tab, I can just kind of rub off the excess. San Fernando, Nevada. Yeah, so that's quite a few hours from where I'm at. Aw, thanks. I always say I'm going to do more of these, and then life just happens, and I don't. But I thought I needed to kind of get some creativity out, and why not turn on the camera and let you guys watch. Like, I would just be doing this in silence all by myself, even though I should be doing other things. See, I should have bumped that down so you can see it. Oh well. Not perfect, but I'm not going for perfect with this. I just want it functional. Oh, yeah. Oh, I bet. That's another place. My husband would love to live in Alaska, but that's an absolute 100% no from me. That's not going to happen. I have Raynaud's. It's an autoimmune disorder, and I cannot be super cold, and so there's no way I could live in Alaska. It is beautiful in California. It is. And yeah, San Francisco is definitely a very unique. I'll be over there on Tuesday. I have to have another procedure on Tuesday. So I'm headed back over there. And it is an adventure when we go over there for sure. -40. Oh my goodness. I would die. I would die. Like literally, my hands would die and fall off and I would be in trouble. Come to Tennessee. I would love to come to Tennessee. My husband, if I told him right now, if I walked over there and told him let's move to Tennessee, he'd go for it. It just takes, we've moved across state and that was super expensive. I don't even want to think about the cost of moving across the country. Ooh, and I just heard the UPS guy honk. He honks because my dogs are super loud and noisy and he doesn't want to come to the door. But the UPS guy is bringing markers for me to test out in the new journaling Bible. So that is because of you guys. I didn't have Zig, clean color, real brush markers, and I didn't have Papermate Flare pens, so I ordered those. It is, yeah, it is, you're right, Britt, it is very busy in California. Luckily, where we live at, like I said, is a very small little community. It's very different. And so it isn't super crazy busy where we're at exactly, but yeah. And you guys are definitely all over the place. Lots of Florida, lots of Tennessee. Jade girl, new Bible's coming. Don't worry. I am so anxious. I'm actually, so I got an email yesterday that they moved up the launch date. And so now I'm frantically this weekend trying to get everything tested and done for my video next week. So I'm glad that they moved it up so that we can start talking about it. But I'm also like, oh my gosh, I have just this weekend to bust out some testing. So, and actually, let me go ahead and pull that Bible up and we can take a look. I'll give you guys a sneak peek of what I'm working on. Okay, hold on one second. All right, so this is what we're talking about. You can see I've already kind of done some testing. This is why I haven't done a whole lot of videos this week either, is because I'm trying to work and really spend a lot of time in this Bible to give you guys a really good review. And so I'm trying to spend a lot of time in here. I have not recorded videos for the processes that are in here, just heads up, but I will recreate some of these pages. So this is the new Bible from Illustrated Faith. There's a link on my blog. A link in my profile will take you to where you can sign up for the emails for when it releases. But let me give you a sneak peek. So this is the page that I was working on this week. It's not finished, but you can see I'm playing with some foil, doing all that. And I've got texture paste and foil and stamping, and all this stinking space is ridiculous, guys. So I know it's a little bit higher price point. I know that's going to be an issue, but oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it so far. So to give you an idea, markers. I know those are markers. Yeah. I think it's, huh?
Is it on my phone?
Oh, maybe it is your phone. I don't know. I'm supposed to get markers today too, so I kind of hope it's my markers. My husband's waiting for his new cell phone, so he thinks that the box that came is his cell phone. So you can see there is still some bleed through from VersaFine. I'll go way more into depth next week in the video, but I just want to kind of give you guys a little sneak peek. The font is not difficult to read. However, it is not much bigger than a regular journaling Bible. It's your phone? Okay, so it's my husband's phone, not my markers. Dang it. So yeah, it is kind of small text. It is a little intimidating. I will be 100% honest that when this landed on my doorstep, I was so excited. But then I stared at it and was so scared to touch it. It was kind of like when I got the interleaved Bible. It was a little intimidating to have all that space. But now that I've dug in and broke it in, I'm no longer intimidated. So yeah, he is.
It's not markers.
It's not marker. Is it markers and your phone?
No.
Oh, dang it. All right. Sucker, he says. So he got his new phone. I did not get my markers. Well, my markers are supposed to be here today. So hopefully that way I can finish testing this weekend. Oh, thanks. I've overcome a lot of fears in Bible journaling over the years. And so I was kind of surprised when I got that Bible, and I was so scared to jump into it. And I'm like, what is wrong with me? I'm the girl that like tears a page and doesn't cry about it. And it was just, I think it's just because it is a higher price point. So even though Dayspring sent it to me, like knowing that when I go out to buy another one, I am going to have to, fork out a pretty penny for it, kind of made me nervous about it. But I'm really glad that I just dove in and used it for what it's to be used for. Oh my gosh. Jesse loves Jesus. That would be, so first off, he is super, he doesn't like to be the center of attention. So there probably is slim to no chance that he would ever be on a video with me. A voiceover maybe, but he is hilarious. However, his sense of humor is not always appropriate for church circles. Let's just say that. He used to be a paramedic. When we first met, he was a paramedic. And so your sense of humor when you work in the health industry has to be a little bit weird, or you just don't survive with all the tragedy that you see. And so his sense of humor is very unique and very dark and very dry, but he is hilarious. That would be a fun to get him to do a voiceover for me, though, for sure. That would be a funny video to do. Maybe I'll talk to him about that. Of course, I don't know. I guess the nice thing is it's not live, so I can edit things and I can rein him in a little bit if I just record it. Oh my gosh, Britt. Yeah, so my interleaved, I haven't used very much. Not because I'm scared to use it. It just didn't click with me like I thought it would. But yeah, it was very intimidating to have all that space. Okay, yep, CC, you girls understand, being in the medical field, your sense of humor has to just be, and that's hard for me, especially, so I worked in a hospital for 4 years, and then I was going to nursing school and worked in the medical field. I've been in the medical field almost 10 years before I stopped and was doing this, and so, yeah, your sense of humor and your personality has to be very unique. And so now working on women's ministry team and trying to be compassionate with women and deal with crying women in my lap is very difficult for me to do because I have learned to just turn off my emotions and not get swept into that. And so you come across as being like cold or not caring, but that's not it at all. You just have learned to not, I don't know, it's just a very unique situation. And I've now been out of the field for almost 4 years, but it's still there. It's still part of our personality for sure. I saw a substance abuse counselor. That would be very difficult. All of you nurses, praise hands for you ladies, because that is a very difficult job. I was 1 class away from entering the RN program and decided to do this instead. So it is boundaries. It is. But I also just I don't get overly worked up about things. Like, even so, when they came in to tell me the day that I delivered my boys, we weren't supposed to deliver that day. I was only 32 weeks pregnant, and I was just at a regular doctor's appointment, and they were very, very sick and had to be emergency C-section delivered. And so they came in to tell me that, and they're like, okay, here's the deal. Like, there's a chance they're not going to survive. It's really, really bad. We need to deliver right now. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, no, do you understand? Like, because I wasn't crying. I wasn't coming unglued. I was just like, okay, let's do this. I'm like, no, do you understand how, the severity of this and how bad it is? And, it just kept going on. And I don't know if they just thought that I was crazy or what, but I'm like, no, like, crying and coming unglued about it isn't going to change the situation. So let's just move on, do what we got to do, and get it done. And so, I don't know, that's just kind of how I've always been, but that isn't always a good skill when you're, in women's ministry or something, and you need to be compassionate and caring. And not that I don't care, it just doesn't look like I do because of my personality. And thank you for saying that I have a calling for this. It's an adventure for sure. All right, ladies, so we've been here over an hour. That's pretty much all I'm going to do. Is I'm just going to wrap this up and finish it up. I have a couple more pages to put in here, trim up the edges so that everything will kind of be like able to be seen nicely, and then put it back into my mini book. And then now I've got a place where I can journal my thought out, my questions, my prayers, all that goodness will be right here where I can journal it in here. So does anybody have any questions before I hop off? Thanks for all of you that hung out. I thought it was going to be super boring. You guys all hung out and just watched me glue stuff. Like I said, hop on over to LindseyDecor.com. I just posted a blog post that has links to the products that I mentioned. If I pulled anything extra in, I will add that over there as well. So don't worry about that. And then this process video is over on my channel showing how I put together this mini book. Aw, thank you guys for hanging out. It was kind of fun just to chit-chat with you guys and not think about all of my gotta-dos. I gotta take photos. The new Creative Retreat kit is coming out tomorrow, so I gotta take photos for that. Wild Hair Kit is coming out on Sunday. New Bible's coming out next week. So I've got lots of photos and editing and things to do this weekend. Of course, I'm so glad you guys came in and spied. So I'm going to go ahead and figure out how to save these, and I'll try to upload them over onto my YouTube channel. If you missed any part, there's 2 different lives. If you missed any part, I'll get that saved over there for you guys. So, and what colors on Creative Retreat? Actually, I can show you. Let me grab it and I'll give you a sneak peek. All right, this is the pattern on the back of the devotional. So it's perfect strength, and it's going to be navies, mustard, pink, and I think there's a little pop of green also. So super, super pretty colors. So there's a peek that's coming out tomorrow. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to say goodbye. Thanks for hanging out. And hopefully I will be back on here chit-chatting with you guys soon. So have a great day, everybody. Bye, guys.